Hey everybody, Matt here at Big Red Liquors, and I am very excited for what is in front of me. So I think most of us know that there's a lot of marketing speak, there's kind of a lot of BS in the bourbon world. A lot of companies buy product from MGP and they finish it or they proof it or they resell it as something completely, totally different as if it were their own brand. And it's just something that's been going on for a long time. It's fine in general, but when these products hit my desk, I was really excited about it because I think finally we got something that was like totally creative, unfiltered, like just the straight up truth about what was being bottled, and it was being done and is being done at the right price. So these are Krogmans presents single barrel bourbons and rye whiskeys. And each one of them is kind of named after something that happens in like the bourbon secondary market. It kind of pokes fun at that world. But while it's poking fun at it, it's actually providing the best value out there because they're all single barrels. So they're all nicknamed individually. They're all bottled at barrel strength. And they're only using a 40 micron filter, which is basically like the largest filter you can get to just essentially take out like the biggest barrel chunks, and that's it. Essentially, when you're opening and drinking this, it's like you're drinking it essentially straight from the barrel at the single barrel tasting. So, and obviously then non-chill filtered. So this is as close to just getting it straight out of the barrel as humanly possible. But what's cool, even cooler about the project is that eventually all 9 of MGP's recipes are going to be bottled under one of these weird and exciting brand names. So I think that's really cool. So we'll just start here with the first one, which is Tater Bait, which is actually an MGP recipe that a lot of people know of. It's the high rye recipe. It's the 60% corn, and this is the best part about it. It's got the mash bill right on the back, so there's no question about where it comes from. So 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% barley. It gives you the age, 3 years. They're not old, but they're not expensive either, and they're barrel proof, so you get the percentage alcohol on the front, 58.9%. Non-chill filtered. This one is big juicy. We bought 4 different single barrels of Tater Bait, and boom, there it is. This one is the traditional 95% rye recipe from MGP. 95% rye, 5% barley, age 3 years. This one's called Max Profits. That's pretty cool. Again, see the nickname here. This is called Honey Butter, but there's 8 different barrels of Max Profits, and I tasted this particular one yesterday on my semi-vacation. That's why I'm tomato red in the face here, but that was delicious. Great old-fashioned, and you could make a Boulevardier with this. You can obviously make a great, delicious rye Manhattan with this. It's perfect, and they're all barrel proof, so they're great with cocktails. They're great neat. They're great with ice. This one. This is a gem that I bet a lot of people don't know because a lot of people who buy different MGP recipes, they don't tell you exactly which mash bill they're using, or they might be using a combination of mash bills. This is Buy It Now. This is a rye whiskey. This is 3 years old, 51% rye, 49% barley. This is the dark cola single barrel, and 58.7% alcohol. This is for the Scotch lover, rye lover. It's got such a deep kind of biscuity flavor to it. This is the one that I've been drinking the most, just neat, because it's got such a unique, smooth flavor profile. But that is Buy It Now, and it's the 51% rye, 49% barley, which is so cool that MGP has been doing this recipe. But this really basically presents it in its most honest, open, rawest format that you can get. the most unfiltered version of this particular mash bill. And it's really cool they had 3-year-old of this, not like 1.5 or 2 years, but got that extra year. So those 3 are in stores. This one is coming in a couple of weeks. This is called Wax Dips, and this is so this is the wheated version. This is the wheated bourbon recipe that MGP makes. It's extremely high wheat, 45% wheat, 51% corn, 4% barley. This is 2-year, but their 2-year, I first ran into this recipe several years ago with a brand that a friend of mine did that bought it like literally right when that 2-year-old wheated MGP was coming of age. The brand didn't do very well. It was more of a marketing issue, but I remember the flavor of that MGP wheated bourbon and how good and how sweet and how smooth it was. And this picks right up where that left off. So this will be here in about a week and a half. And then there's 5 more recipes that MGP makes that are going to be coming out later this year. But these are the first 4. And I think the reason, that we got these 4 first is because they're really the most unique and kind of foundational, delicious recipes that MGP makes. They make some corn whiskey. They make a light whiskey, which was always used in the Seagram 7 blend. And because this is all the same distillery, because it's all the same stills, mixing and matching these together is kind of a fun project if you're doing like an infinity bottle or something like that. But these aren't available as far as I know yet anywhere else except for Big Red Liquors. So go to Big Red, you'll see these out. They're totally weird. They really stick out like a sore thumb on the bourbon shelf, but they're weird and creative and different, yes, but what they're delivering is hands down the most raw, unfiltered version of these MGP recipes at barrel strength, non-chill filtered, in single barrel format. So, I think you just got to, finally somebody's just saying, hey, give the people what they want. This is what they want. Forget about proof, forget about story, narrative, forget about finishing, forget about all that other marketing crap. Just give them the raw juice and let them drink it and judge it on its own merits. So that's what this is. This is the Krogmans Presents Single Barrel Project. I'm really, really excited about it. They're so good. Cheers.